Alright, just gotta fix the Facebook thing real quick, and then we got a special treat for this one, because somebody pissed me the fuck off. And so I'm going to dissect exactly what is wrong with it and why it irks me so. ¿Dónde está my live stream? What the fuck? Hey, Facebook, do the thing with the thing. Let me see it. Twat. There we go. Change the privacy. Change my privacy. Just as I always do. Developing a real Sticks, Hex, and Hammer reminiscent workflow here with this. Good to check it if I'm live on Rumble. Okay. Cool, now that I'm public on Facebook, I shall continue. So I started off with this exchange that I had on Boomer Book. That really pissed me off. So this dude was talking about the election, obviously. He said, like I said before, it was never about policy. We the people, or even civility. It's this, a smirk. And then post an image where one of my comments had been included in it, where I was telling somebody to cry harder. Your tears sustain me. Y'all can't even blame Electoral College on this one because we won the popular vote too. And you know, in the interest of defending myself, I jumped in and it's like, hey. So I said, oh, it's always been about policy. The salt is just an added bonus, because it's true, it is. To which retard one, I'm retard two in this story, I guess. He'd be retard one. Retard one says back, and what policy are you talking about here? So I list off, I said, border wall, deporting illegals, tariffs, lowering taxes, potentially getting rid of income tax, election security and transparency, sound monetary policy, foreign policy like the Abraham Accords, or reunification of the two Koreas, increased funding and research into nuclear energy, increased national self-reliance and energy independence by returning to net exporter status on oil, and that's just what I can think of right here and now. Retard 1 responds with, the expensive wall that he failed to build his first time, the wall that won't work either, but okay, priorities, deporting migrants, I'm halfway here with you, honestly, but first off, define illegals, because a lot of them are here on federally protected status. Will that status get revoked? And if you mean straight up illegal, how? Sounds not only expensive, but far more difficult than it sounds, because there's a lot, even more so if their status gets revoked, so how, and how much will that cost? What exactly are tariffs? How going to do except make things more expensive? Lowering taxes is cool, but how are we going to pay for the removal of millions of illegals? How are we going to pay for Israel, and so on? I hear Trump say a lot of things, but there's never a breakdown on how he's going to do it. For instance, he said he was going to build the wall, make Mexico pay for it, but Mexico didn't pay for it, and he never finished it because of never Trump or retards, but that's beside the point. Do you realize how many jobs went overseas during his presidency? Look it up, but somehow it's different now. Help me here, I'm being civil, I genuinely want to know. I take him on good faith, I take him on his word, because that's who I am, and I should stop doing that, because it always leads to the same fucking thing with these goddamn leftists. Said, if you can't, so, responding to the illegal thing, I said, if you came here and you're not sponsored, or if you're awaiting a hearing on refugee status, or, you know, violated for a safe country and came here, you have to go back. I'm willing to negotiate in DACA, but I doubt the administration would be. If Eisenhower could deport a bunch of illegals prior to the modern surveillance tech that's everywhere, I'm sure we'll manage. Expensive ain't near as expensive as it is to allow it to continue. Tariffs don't make things more expensive compared to the long-term costs of global free trade with nations like China. Tariffs force companies exporting products to us to play on an even playing field, and negates the advantage of inhumane labor practices while allowing enterprise to build here and provide jobs, because that's exactly what it does. We'll more than make up for it by shrinking government, and with tariffs in response to the how do you fund it. I said, fuck foreign aid also, we can't keep being everyone's piggy bank and expect ourselves to do well at all. Those jobs did not go overseas during Trump's as a result of his presidency, our economy was amazing prior to COVID. I've looked incredibly deep into these things. I've been doing the politics thing for well over 15 years. It's not going to be different now. It's going to be a return to form. The only reason you think it's all talk is because your sources aren't giving you a complete picture. I don't have a complete picture either, because perfect doesn't exist. But you have to take multiple articles on the same thing, find what matches between all of them, and discard everything else as the bullshit it is. Aggregators like ground.news help with this a lot, or help with this a lot. I understand the skepticism. I'm also a skeptic, but his current roster of Gabbard, Kennedy, Ramaswamy, and Vance are incredibly diverse in political alignment, and he seems to be less inclined to lean on establishment shills like he did the first time around. He also has the House, Senate, and Judicial this time around, and I don't think he'll get nearly the amount of pushback he did before with the mandate of the people behind him as well. And this is where it goes off the rails. Well, then there's that. Coming from retard 1. Then there's that. The fascism aspect of it. And right there, I just pretty much turned off because everything downstream from the fascism word is complete and total bullshit. But he goes on to say, surrounded himself with yes men, got all his ducks in order, white genocide narrative has been out in plain sight, blah, 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 states' rights, will bring back Christian nationalism and abortion bans at the federal level. Clearly the dude's just TDS'd and detached from reality in and of itself in its entirety. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, well, fuck this guy. So, you know, I call it out. I say, that's not fascism. That's the democratic will of the people. What makes me think he won't do it? That ain't on me. It's on you to prove how it leads to the fascism. I can't prove a negative. And he's the one making the claim. It'll lead to something with zero evidence. He says abortion ban as if I wouldn't like to see that, but it ain't gonna happen because Trump's emphatically stated as much. If he doesn't assume good faith, that's on him, not me. And I have zero reason to suspect Trump will do anything out of line because he's done nothing to indicate otherwise at any point. As to the rest of it, it's kind of why I'm so fucking cynical at this point, because every time I try to give anyone coming at these things from his point of view the benefit of the doubt, I have to explain the history of the fucking universe. There's no amount of sources that ever satisfy these assholes, and that's because typically anything right of MSNBC is considered to be a, you know, fascist right-wing source. And if the left wing doesn't cover the news, does it just not happen according to these assholes? Fuck them. But they don't cover shit that doesn't, you know, refutes their constructive narratives. So I told them, I'm done with the games. If you want to have your discussion, I'm here for it. But this kind of shit needs to stop, or you can take your shifting goalpost bullshit and denial of reality and shove them right on up your ass. It's the disingenuous bullshit is why these liberals are in this spot to begin with. But that's enough of both barrels at once to kick things off. So I'll be done being a retard for now. Unless this fucking retard decided it would be a good idea to poke the bear once more. I have to see I'm a glutton for punishment. Oh, did you go home? Did you take your ball and go home? What a little bitch. Get back here, you little bitch. Anyway, I'll check the Facebook at the end of it. First article, DOJ moving to close down criminal cases against Trump before the inauguration. Justice Department officials are moving to wind down the 2 federal criminal cases against President-elect Donald Trump. God, it feels good to say that. To comply with agency policy against persecuting a sitting president. Or, I'm sorry, prosecuting a sitting president. Same thing at this point. NBC News reported exclusively that DOJ seeks no avenue to hold trials soon for the 2 cases brought by Special Counsel Jack Smith, one for alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election, which, by the way, I'd like to point something out really quick. I saw it when I was on my Facebook. It would be this particular graph, and I hope I don't get shot in the fucking ear because I'm looking at a graph here, but bear with me a moment. Let's see. I'm a boomer. How do I do this? Sources. It's going to be... not display capture. Fuck. Window capture. There we go. Window capture 2. This one. Okay. So, let me see this. It's kind of overtaken my whole face. I'll try to expand it on OBS here for a minute. Okay. See this chart? Here you have the Democratic popular vote in 2012 and the Republican popular vote in 2012. And in 2016. And in 2024. Right here in the middle, you have this massive jump on an otherwise linear increase. Because, you know, population expands. and you're going to have some overlap between the two. But if we continue this pattern and estimate this guy right here, and then we take the overall height of, all the votes amalgamated, this should have been like down here somewhere. So where did all of these extra votes come from is what I'm wondering. Because I'm beginning to think maybe questioning the 2020 election was actually a fruitful avenue of inquiry, and the reason the response to it has been so over the top is because the assholes are trying to hide something. But that's just me. There's a tinfoil bit under this hat, just so you know. Gotta protect my brain from the government. That's a joke. And the other for allegedly mishandling classified documents, which is impossible for a president to do because the president has plenary declassification powers, and anything classified is classified at his request or declassified by it. Oh, wow. Yeah, fucking retard did reply. Let's see. What did this asshole say? Sorry, I'm distracted. Oh my god. Fuck off. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Homie, I genuinely do not care. Sorry, I'm angry. Anyway, where was I? sure that was engaging for everybody who wasn't watching. In both cases, Trump's legal team has had many opportunities to file appeals, which would further delay any trials and could end up in the hands of the Supreme Court. Inauguration Day in January 2025 presents a hard deadline for the DOJ, which developed a policy in the wake of Watergate against prosecuting a sitting president. Smith's prosecutors carried out a flurry of activity just before the election, filing a retooled case against the president that argued the merits of maintaining the charges in light of Supreme Court's decision earlier this year on presidential immunity, rendering their entire fucking argument bunk. What the... these people are fucking evil. They have not found a single fucking thing on the guy in 8 years. Everything they've brought against him, they have had to custom manipulate the existing framework to even make it fit in the most liberal application of the word fit. Like Christine Blasey Ford in New York. Oh no, Trump raped me 30 years ago, even though I was wearing a dress in my story at the time that, you know, when I said it happened, didn't even exist yet, but it definitely happened. And let's see, the declassification shit. Yeah, we're gonna take all these boxes of classified shit and scatter it around and take pictures of that to make sure that it looks like it was actually bad. But we actually found them properly boxed up and locked behind doors. Never mind the fact that we declined to prosecute Joe Biden, who did the same thing, but as vice president, who does not have plenary declassification powers, and did nothing about it because he's a doddering old fool, and we think a jury would find him too sympathetic, so we're not going to prosecute him. But fuck Trump, right, guys? Am I right, guys? Come on, guys. Validate me, please, please, please. These people are fucking evil. Next story. Biden. Lovely. Why is that? Oh, go away, stupid radio bullshit. I don't want to see you. Block scripts. See if that takes care of it. Nope. Well, fuck. Okay. Look at this. Look at this whole fucking immovable object. Let's go ahead and inspect. And we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of that guy right there. Boop. Hacker. Biden calls President-elect Trump to congratulate him on election win. Invites him to the White House for transition meeting. That's so nice of him. I wonder if there will be tea. Total fucking amazing story right here. Biden calls President-elect Trump to congratulate him on election win. Invites him to the White House for transition meeting. Next story. I just kind of had to put that one in there because it was funny. Convicted January 6th rioter tells court he expects Trump to pardon him and is awaiting information from the president-elect. Love it. The ripple effect of DJT's election on Tuesday is already being felt in D.C., where some defendants charged in the Capitol riot of January 6, 2021 could soon be pardoned by the incoming president, who has promised as much. It was a specifically conditional promise, but a promise nonetheless. I'll give him that. One rioter wasted no time inciting Trump's victory to try and stave off a hearing. In this case, claiming he's expected to receive clemency. So, if he listened to what the president had to, or president-elect had to say, he's probably nonviolent. Probably was just wandering around, not actually doing anything other than being there. Because it's kind of what Trump had. It's going to be on a case-by-case basis, according to the God Emperor himself, so, but we shall see. Throughout his campaign, President-elect Trump made multiple clemency promises to the January 6th defendants, particularly those who were nonviolent participants. Wow, CNN stepping it up. Props to you. Fucking... Well done, fuckers. Well done. I appreciate it. Keep at it. That's the kind of change we need to see. Lawyers for Christopher Carnell wrote in a court filing on Monday. Mr. Carnell, who was an 18-year-old nonviolent entrant into the Capitol on January 6th, meaning he's, 22 now? 21, thereabouts? Is expecting to be relieved of the criminal prosecution that he's currently facing when the new administration takes office. He was convicted on all 7 counts against him, including disorderly conduct in a restricted building. As of now, his lawyers wrote, he's awaiting further information from the Office of the President-elect regarding the timing and expected scope of clemency actions relevant to his case. District Judge Beryl Howell quickly knocked down the request in an order Wednesday, telling him the hearing would remain scheduled for Friday. What a cunt. What a fucking cunt. Trump has previously said he would pardon Jan 6ers, saying in July that if they're innocent, he would pardon them. That's such a Trump way to put that. Over 1,500 people have been charged and connected to the God damn it! I praised them too early. Over 1,500 people have been charged in connected to the Capitol riot. In connection, CNN. Proofread your shit. I'll do it for fucking minimum wage. More than 1,000 of them have been convicted. Nearly all of them have been held indefinitely without really, well, up until recently, due process, but that's neither here nor there. But good. I think they should all be pardoned so long as they're not federal agents that instigated it to begin with. Or that they, if they lit something on fire, if they pushed a cop, if they assaulted somebody or battered somebody, yeah, okay, fucking time served, let them all out at this point. It's been 4 years, and considering that the instigators of the church burning across the street from the White House, St. John's Church, during the fiery but mostly peaceful summer of love for our dearly departed, fentanyl-loving, philandering and pregnant woman assaulting George Floyd, hallowed be thy name. Considering that none of the people that tried to burn down that church or storm the White House, forcing the president, Donald Trump at the time, into the presidential bunker, where everybody mocked him and called him Bunker Boy, and yeah, you're running, yeah. Considering none of them have spent any time behind bars at this point, I think, or the, people that sieged a federal courthouse in, Portland for nearly 100 days, none of them have seen the inside of a jail cell. So I think 4 years, just give every Jan 6er time served, let them all out. Fuck that shit. Next story. I didn't even see. There's that one. Okay, yeah. Wonderful news. AP race call. What are they calling the race? Is it a word that sounds like vinegar? Donald Trump wins Michigan. But more importantly, wow, I was expecting a little more than that. Come on, you fucking twat waffles. I'm gonna have to dig up a different article on that. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just sit here and scroll through social media and laugh at all the leftist tears. The salt sustains me. Last story that I've pulled up. MSNBC's Joy Reid. Florida is an extreme right-wing fascist state. Tuesday, during MSNBC's election coverage, network personality Joy Reid lashed out at the state of Florida after the state came in bigly for former President Donald J. Trump. Reid called Florida an extreme right-wing fascist state. This is the reason Republicans wanted the 60-vote threshold, as they tried to do in Ohio. Governor DeSantis has bet his political future on being the champion of denying women their rights over their own bodies. No. The fetus in your uterus is not your body. You consented to it potentially springing up there when you spread your legs for whatever dude shot a load in you. I don't care what birth control methods you were using. If you engage in the fucky and you get knocked up, that's on you. You consented to that as a possibility. Deal with it. He's competing, obviously, with the governor of Texas. He's thinking about a future in which he would like to inherit Donald Trump's white evangelical base. Everything's got to be about race, isn't it? And he has decided that his marker, he has decided this is his marker. and he is willing to use really awesome powers of the state to try to intimidate and bully even television stations in the state against running ads in favor of that protection. So it will defy all of the other states, including the very red states that have protected women. You know, roughly 50% of aborted fetuses would grow up to be women, so, you know, protecting their lives is kind of also protecting women. Just, I understand that you need your adrenochrome, so, you know, whatever. But I could at least respect it if you admitted it. Lying about it to the American people ain't the right way to go, bitch. But that's just my opinion. Florida, in a lot of ways, is going to be interesting. You know, when Stephanie is back, it'll be interesting to talk about what Florida's future looks like as a place that can attract corporate headquarters and investment in a state where the governor routinely bullies companies. I think they'll do just fine considering that people do business with Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, China, Russia, a bunch of other way more misogynist, way more extremist states, but, you know, that's just me. He sued Disney, he sued cruise lines, bullied schools about mask mandates. Good, he should. Fuck mask mandates. Get your face diaper out of here, bitch. Bullied TV stations about what ads they could run. This is pure Project 2025 in Florida and the kind of extremist, right-wing, fascist type of government in Florida. Does that make it more attractive place, or doesn't it make it sound like some other southern states that don't get a lot of investments and interest, particularly international investments? Well, here's the thing about the South. I'll let you in on a little dirty secret after having lived there for a little bit. The reason the South is poor, I don't know if you know this, but see, the revolution was fought mostly on the East Coast, but we won, and handily. The Civil War was fought in the South. And Sherman's March to the Sea destroyed most of the South. And because of the crippling economic burden placed on the South to repay the Union for the war effort, which destroyed it at the close of the Civil War, they have not been able to bounce back nearly as well as the rest of the country. And so, what you have is a region of the country that is poor, I guess you would say pluralistic, because it's not like, I mean, I guess it is majority white technically, but only just so. But you have a large black population there, you have a large poor white population there, who have a lot more in common with each other than they do with Joy Reid's bitch ass. But more importantly, those are the descendants of a handful of wealthy landowners, slave owners, and the people that work their fields, both slave, indentured servant, and hired hand. And so, given that most of those people are, by and large, very fucking poor, and that they've had their, what's the word, generational wealth destroyed by Sherman's March to the Sea, if they had any to begin with, and they had to give the bulk of their GDP to the belligerent that destroyed their lands, perhaps the reason the South is so backwards is because New York elites in their ivory tower of judgment and hatred for the working and lower classes, Miss Joy Cunt Bitch Reid, perhaps your insistence that they're just a bunch of backwoods banjo-playing sister fuckers to the world stage in the way that they're portrayed everywhere sullies their reputation, and because New York is viewed as the capital of the fucking world, even though it should be viewed as the goddamn asshole of the world, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe the just perpetual boot on the throat of the South has more to do with why the South is as disadvantaged and perceived as backwards as everybody thinks it is, and not anything to do with their policies, because as far as I know, their policies are largely the same as the rest of the world, or rest of the country. They're still way more tolerant of any and everybody. I mean, they don't throw gays off of buildings, let's just start there, so got a neck up on half the Arab world. They don't put tires around their neck filled with gasoline and light them on fire either, so got a leg up on most of Africa on that one. They don't persecute them or criminalize them like the Eastern Bloc and a lot of Slavic and Russian or former Soviet bloc countries do. They don't forcibly transition them like some of the other Middle Eastern countries do or various Southeast Asian cultures do. So, you know, as far as that goes, they're pretty metropolitan and secular, current, whatever the fuck, current year modernity bullshit you want to call it. As far as their treatment of women, they let them drive, they let them have their own houses, they let them determine their own lives and practice self-ownership. So that's all of the Arab world, most of Africa, most of India, Southeast Asia. Shall I continue, or is this just kind of beating a dead horse right now? Because I think this is indicative of a bigger social and cultural rot that everybody seems to be surprised by the fucking results of the election for some ungodly reason. I wasn't. I was more surprised at the fact that there wasn't any 3 a.m. drops of ballots or surprise water leaks, gas leaks. There were a handful of like terrorist attacks and all that shit. But this insistence that the problems that caused the left to lose the election are not being owned by the left themselves, and instead they are projecting it out on to everybody else, everybody but themselves. It's just like the little rant I did on abortion about not owning up to the responsibility of the choice that you've made and the consequences thereof. There seems to be just this conception among leftists in general that responsibility is optional, or that life should exist free of consequence except the consequences they deem appropriate for the people that disagree with them. To which I say, go fuck yourself. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. But you see it everywhere. You see it in the way that they constantly push legislation to punish other people for the actions of someone that may or may not have been involved, i.e. the parents in, I think it was a Michigan school shooting where the kid got a hold of the gun. Parents are being held criminally liable because unsafe storage or some other extemporaneous bullshit. The whole abortion debate follows the same logic or lack thereof because, again, as I said earlier, if you spread your legs to have some dude fucking bust a nut in you, you are consenting to 9 months of carrying a child at that point. You consent to 9 months of carrying a child when you say, let's fucky. Just because it doesn't happen every time doesn't mean the possibility is not there. And if you are... Because here's the thing with it. If you are engaging in that activity, I'm assuming you're over 18, which means that you've reached the age of majority where society deems you fit enough to go die for whatever cause they want you to die for. You could be subject to state-sanctioned murder, death penalty. You get to vote. Dumbest fucking thing on earth. But if you're capable of understanding consequence for your actions in the case of criminal justice, if you're capable of understanding the risk to your life that serving your country provides, and if you are capable of understanding the nuances of complex issues required in understanding who and what you are voting on, then consequently I believe that you should also be capable of understanding that dick in pussy plus friction equals baby, or at the very least potential baby. And so, in engaging in that, no matter how many barrier methods or pull-out methods or cycle tracking or depot shot, IUD, you pick your poison, whatever. Point is, none of those are 100%. All of them taken in conjunction aren't 100%. They're functionally 100% in most cases, but they are not 100%. Things happen. And by consenting to that act and engaging in it, you do so with the full understanding that it could result in life. And that is why I have so much difficulty with the abortion debate, because fundamentally that's where I'm at on it. I don't believe that in any case it is justified. I'm not even a religious nut about it either. Um, the one that I'm willing to concede on, even though I still disagree with it fundamentally, but I understand that it's such a sensitive issue for people, is the rape case, because that is somebody else's will being violated. Though, anecdotally at least, most most women, when asked about it, do have a positive way. I don't want to say positive way because that makes it sound like it was a good thing that happened to them, and it's not. But they have a complex understanding of it that allows them to exist in a state that is not hostile towards what happened or towards their child as nature intended. Because if we really want to get gross and granular about it, up until women were considered property of whoever was fucking them, every baby was a rape baby. So that's an uncomfortable truth that you kind of do have to deal with here. And largely, humanity's brains are still kind of geared in that direction. All you have to do is go to the hub and but yeah, there's also a really funny bit in there about the fact that, rape wasn't a crime until women were property, and then it was only a property crime. God, that's a dark fucking thought, but it's true, and it doesn't make it okay, but I think there's value in acknowledging these things and relating it all the way back to responsibility and acceptance of accountability and certain realities. Denying reality does you nothing. It only pisses off the people that are aware of what's going on and makes you look like a dumbass when you decide to open your fucking mouth, like I do every day. So yeah, I don't understand what the whole bullshit with the left is about it, but that's about where I'm at on it. I'm gonna scroll through this here shit storm of social media that I have caused. No, you didn't ask a genuine question. Stop being a disingenuous fuck. Find somebody else to answer your questions, dude. I had to send him a message, be like, hey, here, hop on fucking Rumble and talk to me about this shit. I'll hash it out with you speech-wise. Should I do that? I wish I had a chat right now. That would be so cool, because then I could be like, hey, chat, should I let this fucking fuckwad on here and broadcast it to the internet? Maybe I'd get owned. I don't know. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to do. But I'm the only one watching right now because I'm monitoring it on my other screen. So, whatever. I get it. A bunch of other people are live right now, catching up on all the other live coverages of it, whatever. It is what it is. Like, I ain't tripping. I do this for, basically, what is karaoke is Japanese for empty orchestra? This is just an empty audience, for the most part. I mean, it's an empty host, too. Like, fucking dead inside. Jesus Christ. Although the election did warm the cockles of my heart a little bit. Let me see. I want to read more shit to the void. I like these screams into the void. It's fun. Love it. You know what? Yeah, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go to x.com. We're going to go to Twitter. I'm going to go to Twitter and see what's up with this shit. Hold on. Oh, I got to turn those scripts off. That would help if I allowed its scripts to run. Let's sign in with Google. Is it Google? No, it's not Google that I sign in with. It's hold up. Don't look. Hang on. Where is it? Haha. Don't get my phone number, bitches. Protect that shit. Yes, phone. That was me. I am the one who logged in. All right. What we got? Oh, I got a notification. Oh, yeah, it's a notification that I just got here. So algorithmic feed. What do we got? Person liked to reply. That was it. And then my login one. Okay, yeah. But it just doesn't make sense. So many Republicans voted Democrat. Kamala had more people at her rallies. No, she didn't. She won the debate. No, she didn't. We had all the professional analytical predictions on our side. No, you didn't. I genuinely don't understand how this happened. Because you got high on your own supply. Because you don't actually listen to people who tell you what you're doing wrong. Because you alienate all of the fucking males that are possessing any modicum of self-respect. That's why. That's why you lost. That and my candidate has a vagina is not an argument. It's not a position. It's not any reason to vote for the dumb bitch. Donald Trump had a platform. It's not the best, but it's a platform. Let's see. My humble opinion, Biden's still in charge. Pardon Hunter, pack the courts, make Roe... Can't... How are you going to pack the courts? You don't... Good luck. I would love to see it tried. Make Roe law of the land. Y'all had 50 years. Tie things up so tight that the orange piece of shit and couch fuckers spend the first 2 years untying it. Oh, that's fucking great. Do it. Do it. Oh my god, do it, do it, do it, do it. I would love to see it. Forgive student loans, not gonna happen. Fire Merrick Garland so he can't aid and assist his new boss. Fuck Merrick Garland, he's getting fired by Trump anyway. Dumb cunt. Goddamn. Best of leftist meltdowns. They're reading so hard and it's so fucking great. I'm sorry, I normally don't gloat. I'm normally a pretty humble person. I'm normally not that much of an asshole. Ian's right. I do not revel in other people's pain, but on today I make an exception because I've spent the last 8 years being called a Nazi, being called a white supremacist, being called every fucking horrific name in the book for some, and not being a single one of them. But it's my turn. I get a day. Allow me a single indulgence, if you will. I'm not even really in any position to cause all that much bullshit. I like shit posting, and I see every fucking social media service as 4chan. Deal with it. I'm packing. Which city should I move to? If Trump wins, I'm moving to the U.S. Come to Arizona City in the middle of fucking nowhere and cook me food, and I'll keep you pregnant and barefoot in the kitchen. That's a joke. Don't do that. Don't come here just because the president won. That's the stupidest fucking thing you can do. Someone who doesn't live in a swing state, I'm gonna say this with my full chest. I'm tired of 7 fucking states deciding the fate of 50 states. So you want to let 3 states decide the fate of 50 states? Is that what you're saying? I genuinely don't know. I think that's what she's saying. I think she's saying democracy, democracy. Tired of letting 7 states decide the fate of 50. So you'd rather let New York, Los Angeles, and Phoenix? New York, LA, and Chicago? You'd rather let the 3 biggest cities determine what everybody else has to do? Go fuck yourself, bitch. I don't care. This is the way that we have it. If you don't like it, either run candidates that don't suck or move somewhere else. Door's right there. Bye. 20 million missing votes is a systemic thing. It's like a software glitch that is not adding in vote by mail. It's on that scale of things. Maybe, just maybe, that was that graph that I showed at the very beginning. Maybe, just maybe. Those votes were fake to begin with. This is so good. Trump getting ready to deport the same Mexicans that voted for him. No, those were legal citizens. Those were people who waited in line, or who were born here, who went through all the hoops and said, get in line, motherfucker. There is nobody that hates illegal immigration more than a fucking FOB, fresh off the boat, first generation motherfucker who speaks with some thick fucking accent. Them motherfuckers are some of the most patriotic, fuck you, do it right kind of people, because they see it firsthand exactly just how difficult, and that's its own argument. I fully support making it easier to immigrate to this country once we fix unemployment, once we fix the jobs market and all that shit. But this is just fucking fear-mongering retardation because people believe everything the media tells them. They don't even take the time to think about what they're saying. Unpopular opinion. Trump voters, now's the time to walk the walk. This is the unity party. If you want to heal... No. See, and I've tried that. I tried that with fucking asshole. I tried to be cool. I tried to be reasonable. I tried to be responsible and give him the benefit of the doubt. And he could not even go a single fucking post. He could not even go a single exchange without stooping to name-calling, to misrepresenting, to disrespecting my intelligence by trying to gaslight into thinking that Trump's gonna support a federal abortion ban, or he's going to round up all of the Mexicans that are also American citizens. Like, homeboy is a TDS retard. Legacy media is dead. Long live citizen journalism. Fuck you. Reality of this election was plain to see on X. Yes, it was. While most legacy media lied relentlessly to the public, as they do, you are the media now. Please post your thoughts and observations on X. Correct others when wrong, and we will have at least one place in the world where you can come to find truth. And he is right, 100%. Musk is based as fuck. Krasenstein with an actual good point. Bravo, sir, bravo. Wish I could live stream on this platform, but it costs money. See, Sunweatherman is a numbers guy, numerical analyst, so perhaps he'll appreciate these. The Amish saved the election. I'm seeing PA numbers, and it's not up for the debate. The Amish turned a total toss-up into 19 electoral votes. Without them, PA would not be called here the next morning. Kamala vote total is statistical impossibility, giving the 81 million votes Biden allegedly got. This means 2020 election was, in fact, fraud. Most telling stat of the entire election is Latino males. Trump absolutely flipped them. Whether you look at nationwide or at Miami, this was a major factor in many states, yes. Because, like I said, record turnout, 20 million less votes. The freaks agree? Yes, but not in the way that you think it does. Who's the election denier now, motherfucker? I wonder where 15 million people went. Were they ever there to begin with? We'll find out, because I'm pretty sure that that's, like, right at the top of the list. Tried to tell people Trump was protected by the occult. Many talk, few listen, and yes, indeed he is. Fuck Nick Fuentes. This dude's a cunt. Nick Fuentes is a cunt. We? The fuck? Fuck that guy. That guy's a fucking twat. That guy's a twat too, but you know what? I appreciate the congratulations. No need to be nasty, y'all picked your winner. It's so ironic hearing all these people saying, be nice, be nice, be nice. It's like, I've never read Dune, but I'm well aware of a line in it. Something along the lines of, when I am weak, I gotta look it up. Weak. I spelled it W-E-E-K. I'm a fucking moron. I write. What the hell? There it is. Yes, it is from Mr. Frank Herbert, writer of Dune. And it says, when I am weaker than you, I ask you... Oh my god, fucking Pinterest, your formatting sucks balls. When I am weaker than you, I ask you for freedom because that is according to your principles. When I am stronger than you, I take away your freedom because that is according to my principles. And see, this is exactly what the left wing does in this country. Is everybody be nice, everybody do this, like, be gracious winners, don't come back at us, don't remember that we canceled people, that we, over stupid shit, that we called you Nazis, that we constantly took everything you believe and said fuck you with it, and now that you have some power, oh please don't be mad at me. It's like when COVID fucking was over and everybody realized the sham that it fucking was, and they're like, it's time for us to say sorry to each other, and it's like, no, it's time for you to say sorry to me, because I was right the whole time, and I played along because it made you feel comfortable, and if that's what your autistic little ass has to fucking have to operate in civilized society, so be it. I'm willing to make sacrifices. Most people shouldn't, and I don't agree with mandating it, but I'm willing to play along to get along, because most bullshit is not worth it. But this is just irritating as fuck, because it's like, where was this call for brotherhood and camaraderie 2 days ago? Where was it a year ago? Where was it in 2020? Where was it in 2016, 2018? Where was it? Because from where I'm standing, every fucking opportunity that y'all have been given to do the right thing, you go and fucking just cannot resist going straight to the wrong one every fucking time. And I'm not even Christian. I'm not religious of any type. I guess I'm best described as an animist. Like, I believe in spirit existing in all things. Like, kind of weird when it comes to that shit. But I recognize the value in forgiveness, especially in maintaining social order on a large scale. And y'all motherfuckers are really quick to forgive pedophiles and rapists and murderers and various other dregs of society that should be, frankly, locked away, like locked up for life, or fed feet first into a fucking wood chipper. Y'all are quick to fucking forgive them. But when it comes to somebody who maybe says the hard R-N word, or says something sexist or backwards or racist or whatever ist or ism or fucking gobbledygook bullshit you can come up with, whenever they violate some social pleasantry or polite thing, there's no road to redemption. There's no amount of self-flagellation that they can perform to make them okay in your book. Everything circles around this struggle session notion where they have to prostrate themselves in front of the fucking world for everybody to laugh at them, or to denigrate them, to destroy everything that they have worked for and built, to hope to get back into your good graces with zero promise that it'll even happen, let alone any will. It's all entirely based on whim. And so, why should we forgive you? Like, I do because it's the right thing to do. Simple as that. There is something extant on a higher plane of reality or understanding or something that I don't have the language to describe accurately. There's something bigger than me that exists beyond me that says that that's the right thing to do. Maybe it's an understanding intuitively of the role that forgiveness plays in broader social order. Maybe it's a god or platonic ideals or something more akin to that. Whatever it is, it's valuable in that. But it is something objective to some degree in that the abstraction of it, at least, should be roughly equivalent to everybody, given that the experience of the color blue is roughly equivalent to everybody. And what I mean by that is we have this weird circumstance where the whole phenomenon of qualia, like the quality of color, right? So we all agree something is blue or white or red or whatever. But you wouldn't be able to describe what that color looks like to you, to me, any better than I could to you. And similarly, abstractions such as forgiveness, honor, integrity, these higher order thinkings and ideals certainly exist in the sense that they exist within our minds. They are based upon some notion of what those words are definitely defined as. But the left believes all of these things to be entirely relevant and based, and their value and meaning is derived from the relationship of those to other ideals or other things. Whereas, or no, I'm sorry, the relation is between the individual to them and how the ideal serves them, whereas the right has this tendency to base their understanding of ideals and reality itself on how they relate to it. That is, they are deriving their meaning internally, whereas the left is deriving it externally because they must wear labels. They must put themselves into boxes. They must put everything into a little box, classify all of it so they can catalog all of it, so that they can preempt what it is. Whereas people on the right, I've noticed, have a tendency to evaluate themselves and meaning, the labels that they wear, based on how they relate to the external world versus how it relates to them. You see what I'm saying? Like, I am nothing to the universe, but the universe is everything to me. Right? So, like, in the grand scheme of things, my lifetime, my physical size and occupation of space is so minuscule to reality itself that it may as well not exist. And in fact, it would be very difficult to display it even in scientific notation that it exists. However, so it's functionally a zero. However, on the flip side of that, in how it relates to me, it is a one. It is the only thing I will ever experience, right? Or, I mean, I guess better put, it is the only source of my experience. That is, it's the only source of any impulses into my brain and sensory inputs that I will ever know. And so I derive all of my meaning from what it means to me in here versus what I mean to it out there. And similarly, and consequently, the leftists do it based on what groups they fit into. It's all group identity. It's all collective. They don't matter because they are zero to everything else. Whereas I am all that I will ever know, and thus the one. But that's way too into the weeds of esoteric mumbo-jumbo and gobbledygook for anything I'm willing to get into at this point, and so It is an hour. I'm going to play some Fallout at some point later today, but until then, I bid you all adieu. It's been real. It's been fun. Be safe. Be happy.